Hello and welcome to the Sagittarius subscribers. It's great to see you again because this is your Sagittarius August 2020 tarot reading. And it's been very good to see some of you over the last month for one-on-one private readings. It's been a great pleasure to get to know you personally. And if you would like to have a one-on-one reading, then just check out the information that's in the description box below and you can see how easy it is to make that happen. Next month's reading will be published on Wednesday, the 12th of August, New York time at 2 p.m. I'll pin a note to the top of the comments section so you can come back and have a look at it. But of course, as a subscriber, that will come straight through to your feed. Well, a number of people have asked me, what is that picture that's behind me on the wall? Well, we can have a quick look at it like this. Yes, but anyway, let's get your Sagittarius August 2020 reading underway, and I'll pull 5 cards because that's all we'll need, because as you know, each card is packed full of information when it speaks to you through me. So we shall see what there is first up, and it's this one, which is the 10 of Cups. I'll take this one off the top as well. I just feel disposed to. There's the Chariot. Oh, that's magnificent energy there for you. Let's see what is here. The 4 of Cups. Yeah, really thinking about untying some of your masks, perhaps. I think you probably have a few masks in your closet, don't you? If I know, Sagittarius, you are whom? The 3 of Wands. Well, that's a tremendous card to have. And finally, let's see what this is. There is the Teacher of Wands. All that nice fire energy there with you. Why don't I bring the camera around? You can have a good close look at these quite exquisitely illustrated cards, and I'll do the reading for you. The great Sagittarius, well, can you see? Let's have a look at this first one here, which is the 10 of Cups. And what's it say? Joyous flow. Well, indeed. It may well say that, but what do I get from it? Let me have a look here. Let's have a look at this painting. Well, in the painting, there is a woman floating in the ocean with a dolphin nearby. She looks to be at home in the water environment of the emotional and the spiritual realms. The woman is not afraid to get wet and feels free in the undulating nature of her emotional body. Her flowing nature is mirrored by the dolphin, which represents, I think, that right brain intelligence, that instinctive intelligence. Dolphins are playful animals that emit healing energy. Now, this seashell-shaped thing, a nautilus type of seashell, I think, that spiral in the painting represents unfoldment. Now, altogether, these aspects portray a feeling of comfort, contentment, and mastery in the watery worlds of emotion and intuition, as well as with the dynamic flow inherent in this territory. But you know, the astrology which I have for this is Mars ruling the 3rd decan of Pisces, and Mars is disruptive, and in a way I think it kind of can in some ways interfere with the peaceful Pisces. Now, I do think you'll have emotional stability. There is the chance here, I think, for somebody that they're going to find their dream home. Definitely a happy family unit coming about. And I'm pleased to say the feeling that I'm getting here is that your dreams are going to become a reality. There's also the chance that in a relationship, there may be something of a loss of pleasure in what the relationship brings. Now, that doesn't just have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a work relationship. It could be a business relationship. And therefore, you either have to alter the dynamic of the relationship or move away. It's not as if you're not happy in a sense, but in a way you're full is if you can imagine a bucket that fills with water, and emotions are water. Well, when the bucket is full, if you add more water, it just spills over the side. So I think what's being said here is that perhaps in relation to a situation, you need to get a bigger bucket. I will say, though, that this is talking about letting things develop by themselves, because everything is going to come to you at the right moment. Relax, close your eyes, and breathe deeply and calmly, and let a picture arise in you which shows you in a state of complete fulfillment. And repeat this exercise often, and connect this feeling more and more with your reality, and remember to say this to yourself: life gives me all that I need to be happy. Now let's have a look at this other Cups card that's here. Wow, let's have a look. What does it say? Untying, put your glasses on, Nigel. Untying the Mask. Well, untying the mask, what does that mean to me? Well, I guess we all want to have a self we can be proud of or feel good about, don't we? But when you get disconnected from your own basic goodness because of negative feedback from your environment, you might try to make up for that by developing an image of who you want to be or think you should be. You then might try to support and maintain this image by developing certain personas or masks. Now, of course, the more false the persona, the more support it takes to maintain it. I suppose the psychologists would say that this leads to a sort of an unhealthy narcissism, where you require constant adoration to keep the image in place, but feeling empty underneath and wanting desperately to protect your image. You can sometimes react, if that's the process you're going through, you could react angrily when somebody challenges it. When you can accept yourself in your imperfections, realizing that you don't have to be better than others, or better than indeed you are, as you think in your mind, then you are authentic, and then things really take off for you. It also helps if you can remember that the negative feelings you are keeping at bay are only just feelings, of course. When you are more objective about yourself, you are less in the throes of these negative self-images. But if I look at the astrology of the card, let me have a look at it and see what it has to bring to bear on it. I really see the moon in the third decan of Cancer, that 12th to the 22nd of July. Well, in ordinary astrology, the moon rules Cancer, which, from an astrological point of view, might be the only great strength of this card, because the underlying message that's coming through here is that I think you want to be emotionally fulfilled in a deep way, but perhaps you might be going about it the wrong way. Now, the moon is associated with the principle of flux and change, and your own emotional states may be shifting like the phases of the moon. Now, be careful of settling for what you have. Be careful of inertia. Be careful of not appreciating what you do have. Be careful of really having an unhealthy desire for things that realistically you can't have. There may be a moment here where you feel some sort of boredom or dissatisfaction. Maybe you're too familiar with your environment. You might find that you lack motivation, or that you need to seek some new goals. And it's possible that you look at material things to find happiness, such as a new cell phone, or a new pair of shoes, or a new handbag, or something like these. But these are temporary pleasures, and they are an escape from the feelings of discontent. And I think what this is really saying to you is to realize what you do have and to appreciate it, because there are a lot of people who are worth a lot worse off than you are. But you are being given much love and devotion, spiritually here. Are you in any relationship which makes you feel restricted? And are you expressively devoted to someone? Say this: I enjoy being together with the name of the person, full of thankfulness and joy. Now, I'd like to have a look at this card here, which is just fantastic, I think, and it's great for you. Let's have a look. This energy. It's a very, very, very positive energy in the way that these cards have been drawn and pulled out for you, you know. What I'd say here is that, this is talking about authentic nourishment. Well, this is in a sense encouraging you to accept responsibility for taking care of yourself. In this picture, I'm looking at it here, a nature spirit collects food from the fields. The earth provides many different foods and energies that are nourishing to us. And our task is to discern what elements from this bounty support our well-being. Each of us is unique in our needs, thus what is healing or healthy for one is not necessarily good for another. One person may laugh herself back to health, while another may need to cry. Now in this image, a spiral connects the solar plexus with the fields of produce, and you can kind of think of this, I think, as the will spiraling out and bringing in essential nourishment. This is, of course, at least where it's sitting down here, underneath this Ten of Cups, this is the Sun in the second decan of Aries, about the 31st of March to the 9th of April. This is really the Lord of established strength, I think. And the Sun in Aries is what I get, but in ordinary astrology, the Sun is also exalted in Aries, and so this placement is very, very favorable. Aries enjoys a challenge, don't they? And Aries suns are happiest when their lives are moving forward. I think I see around here ideas crystallizing. There's the confirmation here that really you are on the right path. If you're in a business, it's been going through some difficulty, but I think it's going to be starting to expand. And actually, there's something here which is sort of talking about perhaps you have some sort of a hobby that you may well turn into a business, I think. You're actually quite entrepreneurial, when all is said. I think what happens now is you're starting to get direction. You're starting to get direction. And this is also about looking on the inside and the outside with integrity, honesty, and no compromise. Now, I will say this, it might also be necessary to check the honesty and integrity of somebody else, and that somebody else may well be an Aries, I think. It is important for you to operate from a place of integrity before making any decisions at the moment, and to have clarity of mind and heart before acting in order to bring about the best results. And unless you do have that clarity, then don't act. But if you do have the clarity, then now is definitely the time to move things forward. And there's another card coming through here which is saying this as well. Pay attention to your own point and internal stillness. Center yourself and overcome. Ask yourself, are there any reasons really for the self-doubts that you have? Do you let doubt impact your virtues and the way you are going forward? Remember this always, Sag. I have the power and virtue to reflect and to know. If anybody can get things to happen, it's you. Now, let's have a look at this one here. We're talking about getting things happening. We have this, and you have a real big Sagittarius card coming down here, which you will, I'm sure, appreciate. But let's have a look at this Chariot. Now, what's it saying? It says, Agent of change. Agent of change. Well, you're able to handle change. You're a mutable sign, as they call it. Now, I'm just looking at this painting here, and the chariot is drawn by a horse. Duh. This can be seen as harnessing your power and the energy in your body. The chariot is like a magic vehicle in which the woman here is riding through the heavens in tune with her destiny. Now, I think use this as a reminder that although the task you are involved in may seem very ordinary, it can also be part of your greater unfoldment. Change is all around us, but often that change is not of your doing. But in the chariot, you are the agent of change. This card represents taking the reins in your hands and harnessing your personal will and getting things done. The image, I think, really represents charging ahead, but in a way doing so in a more feminine way. Often when we charge ahead, we do so with the blinders on, ignoring everything that is not on our agenda. In our haste to get things done, we run into obstacles because we're not being fully sensitive to the moment, to our needs, or to the needs of others. And we can lose contact with the larger harmony and the larger flow. But in this more feminine model, as I'm feeling here, you stay in touch with these things. You use your knowledge of natural cycles and honor the times when your energy ebbs, which is symbolized by this darkened moon, I think. Now, part of the wisdom of success is taking days off when you need them. This doesn't mean you lose your focus, but you soften it. You rest while holding the focus. You understand that there are times for resting, times for plodding, and times for charging ahead, and you honor all three of those things. You also don't ignore the rest of your life just because you're concentrated on a goal. Remember the need for balance. Now, I think that this is saying that this is a good time to figure out what you want to accomplish and to do it. This is also saying that this is a turning point in your life, and that if things have been going badly for you, things are going to start to turn around. Now, this might require you to exercise your personal will. Perhaps it is working your way out of debt, getting in shape again, or taking on a course of study, perhaps. It might be charging ahead in a new direction or taking on larger causes. It's helpful to align with the energy of this card and the more feminine energy which I'm getting up from here. Because this is ruled by Cancer, this card, which is a very receptive, feminine sign. I think the point at the moment is not to be full of bravado, charging blindly ahead, only to be shot off your horse. The point is to get the job done and to do so in a way that has integrity and is good for your whole being. Now, I think that the incoming changes promise to lead to a positive phase of your life. Ready yourself, put your affairs in order, examine the possibilities, and I think you're going to leave a lot behind. What areas of your life do you think are going to change? Are you ready to ring out the old and ring in the new? Seek or create for yourself a loving, secure environment. There you can plan the change or journey. And I think your body also needs attention and activity now. Have these thoughts in mind. I motivate others positively. I am responsible for what I cause. I accomplish things well and with ease. I am putting my life in order and preparing for the new beginnings. Then I think that this takes us to this Teacher of Wands saying, Spirit in Matter. Spirit in matter. Well, I'm pretty sure you can relate to the concept of spirit in matter. And it's called a teacher. Why is it called a teacher? Well, I think that the I think that this is teaching something about a very large process, one so large that it is often hard to see. It is the dance of spirit descending into matter and then ascending back through matter and back towards pure spirit. It is the whole cycle that's being recognized in this painting, and particularly the first part, the descent of spirit into matter, which frankly is very often ignored in traditional religions. The celebration of the fact of spirit in matter is again, I think, associated more with the feminine aspects of divinity, and arguably with more feminist and earth-centered spiritual traditions. It is the path of going deeply into the embodiment, rather than trying to escape embodiment. In a sense, I don't know that we need any more out-of-body experiences. What we need to do is to learn to be in the body, in the here and now, attending to the needs of ourselves, those around us, and of the planet. And I think this painting captures those aspects. It depicts a plant rooted deep in the earth, yet reaching up. Well, can you see that? Let me have a look here. It's easier for me because I'm sitting down looking at it. There it is. This plant is getting down into the earth, and yet it's reaching upwards towards the heavens. And the female figure, who I think personifies the conscious element of the plant, reaches upwards in praise. Praise is the appropriate response to the wonder of creation and the recognition of the love and intelligence that manifests this way. Now, the pattern in the woman's heart mirrors the larger pattern that is behind her, which is, well, as above, so below in many respects, which is probably a phrase you hear a lot of. But for me, what it actually means is that everything matter is just an emergent property of spirit. Now, what I get around here is, I'm getting Aries around here. I'm also getting Pisces that's around it. This is because Pisces gives this woman sensitivity and inspiration, and Aries, I think, is going to give you leadership and self-confidence. Now, these cards can be male and female, but obviously I'll refer to her as a female for the obvious reason. I think you're going to be very adaptable. You're going to have persistent energy. There's going to be a calm authority about you. And I have to say this, you are going to have tremendous powers of attraction to other people. So make sure you, just be aware of that. You're going to be very attractive to other people. I think you're going to be very generous, but do you know, and I don't mean any disrespect, but I think you could well be quite intolerant and impatient with opposition. I think what this card is also saying to me here is that this is talking about you, I think, going through a process of self-discovery and remembering your power. Now, you've got where you are by resolving difficulties in the past, and now you're a stronger character. This is a time for you to express your natural power and beauty and to move on from the past. This is a woman here, I think, who knows what she wants, and I think that you know what you want, and you'll have quite an active life. And I've got, again, it's just coming back here, is that you are going to be creating a very powerful first impression. Now, you have worked on yourself and made progress. Now it's time to learn how to share this with others. And let your self-realization be expressed in your daily life. How can you share what you have found for yourself with other people? Say this to yourself: I am a radiant being filled with light. The other things I'd say about her is that she has This is a person here who has an immense capacity for friendship and love, but at her own initiative. In some respects, there can be, and just be aware of this, because in some respects there can be a self-complacent vanity or even a snobbery associated here. And there's a chance that, now I'm not saying it's you, but there is a chance that someone could come to the wrong decision and as a result react with some savagery, can sometimes be quick to take offense and harbor revenge without good cause. And this is someone also who can sometimes have kind of what I call fits of the blues, which really can be self-medicated with booze. And then there's the possibility of reaction, kind of panic-stricken and ill-informed fury that comes around as a result of that. But if that happens to be the case, at least you'll know why it is that way, and it's sort of meant to be. And if you're not doing it, it's because you're doing a good job and keeping yourself in check. What a really interesting, fascinating, powerful spread of cards for you this month. Well done, Sagittarius. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, there you go, the month of August in 2020 for you, and it looks like it's going to be a great month, and I hope you enjoyed that reading as much as I did providing it to you. It's my great pleasure to provide these readings to you, you know. Actually, if you do want to have a personal reading, check out the information that's in the description box below and you can see how easy it is. But in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you again next month, and until then, always remember this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.